Hi ladies, welcome to the Feminine Universe. I'm so happy to have you here. This is Intro to Femininity Part 2. We're continuing with our realistic, useful, and easy to understand introduction to femininity. If you recall, in Part 1 we covered what femininity is, what enhanced femininity is, and we talked about how there are clearly different types of femininity. Now in Part 2, we'll be discussing the types of women who can benefit the most from femininity, and we'll be touching on how to enhance our femininity if we choose to, particularly which parts of life we should be focusing on a little bit more if we're choosing to live that enhanced lifestyle. So let's jump right back in. When talking about who can benefit from enhanced femininity, there are about 5 main kinds of women that come to my mind. The first group of women that I think can really benefit are the ones that never learned about or weren't really exposed to it. I think those of us who grew up with very feminine mothers, sisters, or other women in our lives can sometimes overlook how much we learned and absorbed just from having these women around. We have to remember that some ladies grow up in a home without a mom. I've heard so many stories where women talk about their mom passing away when they were young and growing up with just their dad, or being the only girl with a bunch of brothers. Or sometimes, unfortunately, some women just don't have a good relationship with their mom, sisters, or aunts. Other times, the women in your life will actually be very present and love you to bits, but they just don't have that level of femininity to give. Maybe life was hard for them and they felt like the best thing they could do for you is teach you to be strong, so you'll be prepared for this hard, cold world. In that case, it's absolutely done with the best of intentions, but learning how to be strong does not mean you should always have to be. Some people are simply uncomfortable letting others help them because they aren't used to it. I always stress this point to the women I advise. We have to remind ourselves that it's so easy to mistake unfamiliarity with dislike. You are 100% entitled to dislike anything you want. Just be sure the issue isn't just that you're unfamiliar with it. Some foods you don't like right away, but with time you acquire an appreciation for it, and it might even end up becoming your favorite. When you've never experienced otherwise, it can be easy to think that the way you've been living is all there is to life, or that you're somehow undeserving of anything different. Enhanced femininity can help women who have never really experienced or had proximity to it get a chance to learn what they like and dislike and decide if they want to switch up their lifestyle or even just incorporate parts of enhanced femininity into it. The second group of women that I think can benefit from enhanced femininity are women who may feel that they are stuck in a rut or that they've just kind of plateaued. This kind of woman might relate to thinking things like, in high school, I used to be Miss Social Butterfly, or in college, I had it going on, or before I got married and had kids, I took such good care of myself. I always had my hair and nails done. I took trips with my girls. I had fun hobbies. Now, obviously, priorities will shift in different phases of life, but I think a lot of women feel like you have to, or that you're obligated to give up on certain things at certain phases, even if you were to still have the time to do them. But enhanced femininity can absolutely still benefit you at this stage. Believe it or not, it can benefit your entire family, from your husband to your children, especially any daughters looking up to and learning how to be feminine from you. So if you still love it, if you're still interested in it, but somehow feel like you're no longer entitled to tap into your super girly side, that's still accessible to you. It will be beneficial. Another woman that might also relate to being in a rut is the woman that has been convinced to do less by the people around her. Maybe constantly hearing things like, why are you always so dressed up? You're so extra. You're doing way too much. Got to you. So slowly you started doing less and less until you just felt boring and bland, and maybe you toned yourself down to make others happy or more comfortable, or just to get them to stop pecking at you, but now you're not happy. And as women, sometimes we can get this from both ends, either hearing things like, you shouldn't put too much care into your appearance because that's just a coping mechanism for women who have nothing else to offer, and then on the other end we can get things like, you're pretty, but if you tone down your intelligence, you would be even more attractive. because you can be smart, but not too smart. We can let these things get to us for 2.5 seconds, but then we realize we are multifaceted human beings. You can love obscure documentaries and be a product junkie that loves heels. Enhanced femininity can help this kind of woman rediscover herself and the things she once loved while creating a routine and a lifestyle that work for her in whatever phase of life she's in. Another type of woman that can benefit are the women who just love self-improvement, the women who know we never know it all and that there's always more to learn. These women explore new experiences, perspectives, and techniques that might improve the way they do things. For example, just because you already know how to cook a particular dish doesn't mean you can't learn a tip that can help you whip it up more quickly or make it even more delicious. Or just because you have your makeup routine down doesn't mean you can't learn about a new product or technique. I would say this self-improvement angle was my initial starting point. I think many women can relate to starting somewhere around here. For these women, enhanced femininity allows you to continue to grow and build on the foundation that you have and just keep on climbing and getting better. The next kind of woman I'll mention that benefits from enhanced femininity is the woman who has something to teach or share with other women. As you go through life, it's so easy to keep the gold nuggets that you've learned and earned along the way through all your ups and downs and all your successes and failures to yourself. But this kind of woman knows that the best way to stay sharp and to help womankind as a whole is by passing on what you've learned. So in this section, we just have to take a moment to give flowers to and recognize all the amazing moms who pass down knowledge and game to their daughters, the aunties, the grannies, the best friends, the big sisters. I think we've all had that one teacher who was also just very influential. All the women who take it upon themselves to pass on the knowledge that they've gained through their experiences onto other women. And with that, I must also say, I also really respect and admire what some women on YouTube are doing to fill that void for women all over. Because as cute and fun as some of these videos may be, these aren't reminders for everyone, and not everyone is in a safe enough environment to express their femininity. I'm sure we've all seen comments of people just describing tough situations that they're in, and so I really admire what some women on YouTube are doing to fill that void. And because of that realization and the major big sister energy I carry, I was really inspired to jump in, add my voice to the mix, and hopefully contribute something beneficial to the conversation in my own little way. So not only do the women in this teach and share group educate, they also inspire. They continue to learn and become the best versions of themselves while helping others do the same. Their femininity continues to be enhanced, and they are able to nurture others in some way, shape, or form. And that to me is as feminine as it gets. Taking care of yourself while taking care of others. Sentiments along the lines of each one teach one, I am my sister's keeper, and all those beautiful concepts. Lastly, there is an unlikely group of women who may actually really benefit from some enhanced femininity. I'm referring to those who might generally not be interested in it. They might not like every aspect of enhanced femininity, but they do like the results they get when applying it strategically. Kind of like I don't necessarily like to exercise, but I like the results in how I feel and how I look. I'm sure a lot of us can relate to that, or to not liking to wake up early to head into the office, but we enjoy receiving that paycheck. Maybe you absolutely would prefer to be in sweats 24/7 instead of getting gussied up, but you like the way you feel and the treatment you get when you look like you put in effort. And I already know there's someone out there mumbling, girl, I want to be able to wear sweats and get great treatment. Baby, I want to be able to eat chocolate cake 3 times a day without gaining a pound. But this is where we are right now. For these women, learning to use enhanced femininity in the corporate world, in relationships of all kinds, or when it comes to their appearance could be beneficial in getting them the outcomes that they want. And I know we all like getting what we want. Okay, now for the section that this video has been building us up for. How does a woman go about becoming more feminine if she chooses to do so? Or better yet, how does she tap into her enhanced femininity? Here are a few areas I like to think a woman should focus on as she transitions into a more feminine lifestyle. The first area is awareness and intentionality when it comes to our appearance. For better or for worse, our appearance is the first thing people see about us. If we're honest with ourselves, we all do it to one extent or another. Humans react very strongly to what they absorb through their sense of sight. Ask any advertising agency. Some things are just human nature. Now we can cry about it or we can control it. You can choose to look at honing your looks as a shallow, surface level thing and just dismiss it, or you can also look at it as taking better care of yourself, pampering yourself, and presenting yourself to the world in a way that commands respect and attention before you ever say a word. The next area is developing our personality. For some reason, many people think becoming more feminine stops at the appearance part. They think enhanced femininity just means enhancing your appearance, but that couldn't be further from the truth. I'm sure we can all think of a gorgeous person we've come across with a hideous personality that we can't stand to be around, or someone who is gorgeous but dense as a ton of bricks, or just incredibly dull because they have no interest or hobbies beyond what they look like. So yes, we focus on beauty, charm, and allure, but we back those traits up with smarts, empathy, wittiness, humor, hobbies, and laser sharp focus on our goals. Another area we should focus on is our intelligence and skills. As feminine women, we must seek knowledge and develop our skills. And when I say knowledge, I'm referring to knowledge of self, knowledge of people, and knowledge on some sort of subject matter. Intelligence and knowledge can come from so many sources, but besides traditional schooling and what we pick up from our parents and other influences, books are also incredible resources. You can get books on any subject matter, from philosophy to strategy to finance and even to fashion, and they are accessible at any budget. You can find books on any topic at any price point. These days, you can also find a video on pretty much any topic as well. So on top of whatever skills or positions that you hold in life, you can also teach yourself things like how to cook, how to decorate for events or to do interiors, completing DIY projects, investing in stocks, and so much more. And for you more social types, you can usually find an in-person class to take with others on many of these same subjects. And I can't leave out developing our common sense. We've got to develop the sense to see beyond the rubbish and to hold on to things that will serve us. We can't be the ones falling for every tale and every rumor or be the ones spreading them. We cannot be the ones unable to recognize patterns. Yes, people can change, but if someone has failed you 4 times, they will probably fail you a 5th. Basically, we all have the same number of hours in our days. We just have to be sure to use them wisely and not let silly things nor silly people waste our time. Another area we should focus on is finance. This one might have people arching their eyebrow like, what do finances have to do with enhanced femininity? But from what I've seen, messed up finances are one of the worst things for a feminine lifestyle. You just move in a different way when you're functioning from a place of scarcity. You make decisions you probably wouldn't have made otherwise, and you deal with people you probably wouldn't deal with otherwise. Being financially stable allows you to actually rest in your femininity and accept the offers that benefit you and pass on the ones that don't. We will absolutely be diving more into this topic because your girl doesn't play about her money, so stay tuned for more on that. And if you're like, that sounds good, but I need a way to actually make more money in order to save like I should and move in a financially comfortable way, just drop more money in the comments below or just the cash emoji to let me know you guys want to see something on how to supplement your income no matter what your day job is. The last area I will mention is nurturing and cultivating the relationships in our lives, whether in a platonic, romantic, or professional capacity. Without exaggeration, great relationships can change your life for the better. Bad relationships can ruin your life, and stale ones can keep you stagnant and have you wondering where the years went. This area is about focusing on who you keep around you, how you treat them, and how they treat you. The relationships in your life should provide support systems, growth, motivation, constructive criticism, and of course, entertainment, things like vacations, dinners, shows, movie nights, and whatever other social events your group enjoys. Don't take anyone for granted, and definitely don't let anyone take you for granted. I have a femininity formula coming up soon, as well as individual videos on each one of the topics we just went through in more detail. But this was just an overview of the type of women who I think could benefit the most from enhanced femininity and a few important areas to put emphasis on when enhancing it. That concludes our introduction to femininity. I truly hope this video was helpful. Again, I'd love to know if you learned something or gained any new perspectives. Also, if there was anything you strongly agreed or disagreed with, I would love to hear about it. Until next time, ladies, stay feminine, stay focused, and have fun.